On today's primetime local news, to kick off the community cleanup, Lloydminster's mayor visits a local school.
This week is a great, put as much energy as we can this week to doing it and catch as much as we can because it's just going to continue to blow around.
And a recap of Border City Connect's Play It Forward event to raise money for a new van.
Lloydminster loves hockey, Lloydminster loves community. Let's marry the two things.
Plus, how staying active can help the big brothers, big sisters of Lloydminster.
Prime time local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Looking closer to home now with the warm spring temperatures setting in the city, it's hoping that members of the community will do their part to freshen up as the city Pitchin' Week starts. Mayor Albers kicked off Lloydminster's community cleanup at Rundle Park School, where he spoke with students about the importance of proper trash disposal and recycling. This week, residents are encouraged to sweep sidewalks or driveways, as well as pick up trash that accumulated over the winter.
This is that opportunity to pitch it back in and pick it up and put it into some garbage cans and clean up the schoolyard as an example. Public places, people's yards, this is a great way. The snow is pretty much gone everywhere, so now you can see everything that's laying around. We can pick up some of those old masks.
The city will also be hosting a household hazardous waste roundup for the first time in 2 years. The event gives area residents the chance to safely dispose of waste. Items can be brought to the Lloydex grounds from 10 until 2 on Saturday.
We've got a very dedicated group of volunteers working with a contractor to ensure that the waste is properly disposed of.
A BBQ will also take place on the Saturday. More information on Pitchin' Week can be found at lloydminster.ca/community cleanup. This past Friday, local athletes laced up their skates to participate in a 12-hour hockey game to raise money for a good cause.
Play It Forward featured 4 different hockey teams made up of 11 players each. The first game started at 7:30 a.m. Friday, and the last game ended at 7:30 p.m. The spots for the teams filled up very quickly.
When I came up with this idea, I didn't think for a second that I would have trouble finding 44 players to come out. Lloydminster's a great hockey community. There's a good group of us that play in what we call the NHL, the Noon Hour Hockey League, plus the evening leagues. And I know a lot of these guys. I went out and asked them. They said, hey, what are you doing? I said, I'm doing it for this. They said, we're in. It's hockey, it's community, we're in.
The event's goal was $65,000, which is enough for a new wheelchair-accessible van for Border City Connects. The van makes hundreds of trips a year, and a new one is desperately needed.
2 weeks ago, we had the busiest week in the 40-year history of this organization. And sometimes we don't have enough vehicles to go around. We've got a great group of volunteer drivers, a great group of staff that do that driving, but we don't have enough wheels to make it happen.
All day Friday, the hockey games had a lot of support from community members stopping by to watch or donating to the cause. Buckingham says this won't be the last time they do this event.
This is going to be the first annual of this event. We may change a little bit of the details next year, but this is not the last time you're going to see Border City Connects doing a charity hockey game.
They fell just short of their goal, raising $58,000. However, donations are still open for anyone who would like to help out.
It's time now for today's retrospect. Here's Blake Nath.
This week in retrospect, accelerating into a new season, we take a look at the changes made to the 1992 stock car racing season.
The first thing that will catch your eye are the cosmetic changes. A new grandstand, concessionary, and announcer's booth will all go towards making things a little more comfortable for the fans. And out on the track, it's shaping up to be a very competitive season.
We're going to have a lot of new cars out this year. We're going to have some new drivers, of course, with those new cars. We're going to have the mud boggers with a little more modified on the engine side of things to make it a little more interesting for the fans out here this year. All in all, I think the track for the 1992 season has never been better. We have some of the guys coming out again from last year. They've gone to like I said, a little bit more on the modified on the mud bogs. We're going to have over the hill and a new one coming out, Playing Mud and Stuff, it's called. Rod Bencharski's going to be driving that. All the old favorites, Tim Hilsendegger, Mike Heyer is going to be back on track again. The facilities have never been better here in the 92 season, which is going to be, to me, the best season we've ever had out here in the track.
The Border City Motor Sports Association is going on the premises. The better the facility, the better the crowds. Around $15,000 to $20,000 in improvements will be pumped into the facility this season, which lends one to believe that there is a renewed interest in the sport.
And making bacon. Sub-local producers buck trends in 97 as they dig into the domestic wild boar market. Welcome to the supernatural European wild boar farm, home of Leon Unland and his choice of diversified livestock. Unland broke into the business a number of years ago. He says cost was a major factor in his decision.
We were particularly interested in these because of the lack of infrastructure that was required. When I was comparing it mainly to the bison and the elk industry, the fencing requirements and the handling facilities is needed for those.
Wild boars require an electric fence, page wire, some space to run around, and quality feed. Unland and his brother have recently decided to market the animals, forming Tuscany Choice Limited. The group now includes 9 producers and is seeing some early success. They expect to start shipping volume by November. Lakeland College in Vermilion recently acquired 11 wild boars for its diversified livestock program. Instructor Todd Reeves says the animals do like to be left alone while farrowing or rutting. However, they're actually quite friendly. And that's all for this week in Retrospect.
Retrospect is brought to you by Webb's Machinery. Find New Holland products at Webb's Machinery, your dealer in Vermilion, Vegreville, Lamont, Wainwright, St. Paul, and Consulate.
Now for a first look at this week's weather forecast, we go to Shelby Clark.
Thanks so much, Jasmine. Now taking a first look, yes, at this week's weather forecast here in the Border City, we are seeing 15. So although we are seeing some warmer temperatures, we are seeing lots of high chances of some precipitation throughout the week that will kind of help wash things out, don't worry. But we are seeing some warmer temperatures and even reaching past that 20 mark coming up here later this week. So just stay tuned because we are seeing some nicer temperatures still. So spring season is finally making its way in the Border City. Switching now to temperatures across the region for Alberta and Saskatchewan. On the Alberta side, we are seeing many double digits on the map, so seeing some warm temperatures overall. 11 degrees up in Bonnyville, while it is a little bit cooler in Lac La Biche and Cote Lake at 3 and 6. St. Paul is at that single digit mark as well, just hitting 8 degrees. It is 15 in Marwayne, 14 degrees in Vegreville and Edmonton, while it is 12 in Vermilion, and down in Wainwright and Provost, they are seeing the warmest there at 16 and 18. Switching now to our Saskatchewan side, they are seeing those slightly warmer temperatures as well, kind of compared to the Alberta side. Isle of Cross is looking the coolest at just that 3 mark. 9 in Pearson, while the rest are seeing double digits. Green Lake is at 11, while it is 14 in Meadow Lake and St. Walburg. Maidstone is just hitting 17, and Macklin and North Battleford are looking the warmest, almost hitting that 20 mark. And for North Battleford overnight, they will be going down to 6 degrees, so we are going to be seeing some nice warmer evening lows for sure. They will be seeing a little bit more cloud coverage throughout their evening. Then tomorrow they'll be seeing a warmer temperature as well at 19 degrees, and they will be seeing some slightly mix of some sun and clouds, so hopefully a little bit more sun will peek out throughout the day. Cold Lake will cool down to that 1 mark. They are seeing slightly cool temperatures right now at 3, and they will be seeing a warmer day tomorrow at 10 degrees, and they will be seeing a little bit more mix of some sun and cloud as well. And for us in the Border City, we'll be cooling down to that 3 mark for our evening low, so seeing a warmer temperature. We will be seeing some cloudier conditions. Then tomorrow we will be seeing 14 with a little bit more sun peeking behind those clouds, so we'll be seeing a beautiful day tomorrow. And I just want to talk again about our Mother's Day contest. We are even picking winners this week, so stay tuned till the end of the hour. We will be announcing our first winner of the Mother's Day contest, but make sure you still go to our page. You can comment a photo of your beautiful mother, mention her name and 10 words or less of why you deserve this gift card, and you can win $500 to Sleep Country. That's all I got for now. We'll have more news coming up after the break.
"16 wins. That's what 16 different NHL teams are searching for as the Stanley Cup playoffs begin tonight. Jace Mackey and Evan Kenny have more.
It's time for the weekly sports panel, and I'm joined in studio by Evan Kenny. Evan, it's great to have you here.
Yeah, my pleasure, Jace.
Well, the seasons are changing, and I'm not talking about going from winter into spring. I'm talking about the NHL going from the regular season into the postseason. I'll just go through some of the matchups here in the East. We have Florida taking on Washington, Carolina's taking on Boston. Toronto's going to be going up against Tampa. The New York Rangers are taking on Pittsburgh. And then when we look at the matchups in the West, we have Colorado against Nashville, Calgary versus Dallas, Minnesota versus St. Louis, and Edmonton versus LA. So a lot of matchups there. Take us through them, but I'm going to ask you first of all, what are the most intriguing matchups for you?
Yeah, Jace, there's a couple that stand out in my mind, sort of for different reasons. Just starting things off, we'll go out east where Toronto and Tampa Bay, as you mentioned, will be playing each other. And Jace, that's just a high-flying offensive matchup. Both these teams were in the top 10 for NHL goal scoring from a team perspective. And as well, you know, obviously there's also that cool story with the Tampa Bay Lightning being two-time defending Stanley Cup champions now. And of course, they take on the Maple Leafs in the first round. Toronto Maple Leafs, it's been sort of an ongoing joke with the team as well, mainly with their fans, I guess. But the Maple Leafs have not made it out of the first round since 2004. So that'll be really interesting just seeing them having to take on, you know, like I said, that two-time defending Cup champion. And I also got one for the West, but very, very different reasoning in the West. I like Minnesota versus St. Louis. I think both these teams match up so well against each other, very, very close in the standings. But it will be more of an old school type of hockey. Both of these teams, very physical, like to play the cycle game offensively. So if you like playoffs from the late 2000s, then I think that's the matchup for you. But you also get to see a little bit of the skills there with players like Kaprizov or Vladimir Tarasenko.
But we're going to see a little bit of a blast from the past with that matchup. Going through some of these other matchups, can you talk about some two key factors for each team to win their series?
Yeah, Jace, I think first and foremost, if a team wants to win not just the Stanley Cup, but really just one round of playoffs, you have to have phenomenal goaltending. This is a made-up stat, but this is a stat that I got from a coach when I was playing. 90% of the time, the team with the hottest goaltender will pull out the win. Let's take, for example, the two cups from Tampa Bay. Andrei Vasilevsky, 6 shutouts, a 1.9 goals against average, and a .933 save percentage in that time span. I think it speaks for itself that a hot goalie can win you a cup. And secondly, Jace, I think every player needs to execute their role. I know that sounds very self-explanatory, but just give me a second to explain myself and it might make more sense.
All right, let's unpack this.
You know, taking a look at the Tampa Bay Lightning from the last couple of years once again, they got swept in the first round of the playoffs back in 2019. They addressed what was wrong for the team. They needed to get a little tougher and a little bigger. They brought in guys like Pat Maroon, Luke Schenn, Zach Bogosian. You know, these players stuck to their roles and excelled at their roles, and I think it helped push the Lightning past their former plateau. So, you know, often players try to do too much. I think the moral of the story is if each player can stick to their role and really execute, the team's going to see success.
All right, so we're running a little light on time here, so I'm going to get you to answer some rapid-fire questions. So give me an answer, and then you can get into your reasoning a little bit. First of all, who's going to be the top scorer in the first round?
Tough one to say, but it's really hard to bet against Nathan MacKinnon. He's never been below a point per game in the playoffs in his career.
All right, so is any team going to get swept?
Jace, unfortunately, I have one team getting swept. I think Colorado will sweep the Nashville Predators. UC Saros, the starting goalie for Nashville, as of now, will not play due to injury, so I think that will really hurt them.
Now, as an Oilers fan, I'd love to see LA get swept, but moving on to our last question here, what player do you think is going to be most important for any team? Who's going to have an impact?
Well, Jace, I got a guy that you might like here, one of them being Mike Smith. Obviously, we know the Oilers can score goals, but it's going to be defense that they need to step up. And for a very similar reason, I got Alex Barkov from the Florida Panthers. You know, Florida, very high-flying offense. He's sort of that defensive rock for that team. So very same reasoning there.
All right, well, thank you so much, Evan, for taking some time to talk with us today. It was great to be back here in studio, and it's going to be interesting to see how these playoffs continue on.
Yeah, very, very exciting time, Jace.
Now our Shelby Clark will take another look at your regional forecasts.
Thanks again so much, Jasmine. Now taking another look at your weather forecast, we will be looking at the central zone of our provinces here to kind of see what we are sitting at. We are seeing some beautiful temperatures over on the Alberta side, especially with those double digits on the map. Athabasca and Cold Lake are looking slightly cooler at 3 and 6 degrees. It is 10 degrees in Edson, while 11 degrees in Whitecourt, 14 degrees in Edmonton, while the rest are slightly warmer at 15 in both Jasper and Rocky Mountain House, and Red Deer is looking the warmest, just hitting 16. Now switching over to our Saskatchewan side for the central zone, they are seeing those warm temperatures as well. We were looking slightly cooler last week, but they have warmed up quite a bit. 11 degrees in Melfort, while it is 13, 14 in Prince Albert and Meadow Lake, and Saskatoon and North Battleford are beating out everybody at 18 and 19, so we almost are even seeing those 20-degree points in some spots on the map over here. And now switching over to our northern zone of our provinces, unfortunately, they are looking slightly cooler than what we would kind of expect. 0 in both La Loche and Buffalo Narrows. We are seeing all of them are seeing those single digits on this side for sure. 1 in Wollaston Lake, while it's 2 degrees in South End. 3 and 4 up in Stony Rapids and Uranium City, as well as down in La Ronge, and Flin Flon is just hitting 6. Now switching over to this end here now, they are looking slightly cooler as well, but slightly warmer compared to the Saskatchewan side. Grand Prairie is just hitting that 7 mark, while the 6 in both Fort Chipewyan and down at Peace River. 3 and 4 in Fort McMurray and Slave Lake, and high level is seeing those double digits, so seeing them slightly warmer in high level at 11 degrees. Now going over to our southern zone. As you can see, they aren't struggling too bad whatsoever temperature-wise. They almost have reached that 20-degree point, so they are seeing definitely some warmer temperatures. 18, 19 in Medicine Hat and Lethbridge, 17 degrees in Coronation, while Calgary and Banff are slightly cooler, but still seeing those double digits, so not too bad with 14 and 16. And going over to this end of the map here now, they are seeing some warmer temperatures as well. Moose Jaw and Kinnersley both at 18 degrees, 16 and 15 in Regina and Swift Current, and Estevan has just reached 13. Now going back across the region, the same way we'll expect throughout our evening and throughout the night. I think we'll be pretty happy to see that we are seeing those plus temperatures for our evening lows now. As we head more into the spring season, we are going to be seeing some warmer temps as we head more into the night, which is good to see, but unfortunately there is some spots that we'll be seeing a high chance of some precipitation and some flurries throughout the evening as well. Most spots will be seeing that 1 mark tonight, while Paradise Hill and Pearson will be seeing a low of 2. Provost will be seeing a low of 4 degrees, and Wainwright and Unity will be seeing the warmest with a low of 5 and 6 degrees. So we will be seeing some nice temperatures, but more cloudier conditions that will carry on throughout our evening. Now looking at our 3-day forecast for here in the border city, we will be seeing 14 tomorrow, so we will be seeing still a nicer day with a mix of some sun and cloud. And then Wednesday and Thursday, we will be reaching those 20 points, so get ready. We're going to be feeling quite hot now. We'll almost see these summer temperatures reaching in this week. 22 on Wednesday with a little bit more cloud coverage, then 25 even on Thursday with a mix of sun and cloud, but unfortunately we will be seeing a high chance of some showers, but don't worry, it'll just help clean some things up, so that won't ruin the day too much. And I just want to add again, please make sure to go check out our Mother's Day contest on our Facebook page. You can comment a photo of your mama and win a $500 gift card to Sleep Country, but stay tuned. Our first winner is being picked at the end of this hour. That's all I got for now. We'll have more news coming up after the break.
Joining us today for Primetime Local News is once again Jacqueline Weed with Big Brothers Big Sisters Lloydminster. Thank you for taking the time to be able to speak with us.
Thanks for inviting us.
Of course, no problem. I really wanted to help get the word out there about this second annual Activity Challenge fundraiser that BBBS is having right now. Can you tell us a little bit more about this for people out there that may not be aware?
So last year, we started the Activity Challenge to replace our Bowl for Kids' Sake event that we have had for many years, just because of with COVID and the restrictions, it kind of limited what we could do. Bowl for Kids was a major fundraiser for our agency for over 15 years. And we rely on that amount of fundraising to support some of the programs that we do. So we had to come up with something. So last year we launched our 50 Minutes for 50 Years Activity Challenge fundraiser, because it was 50-year anniversary of Big Brothers being in Lloydminster. So we thought 50 years, 50 minutes, what a good fit. So this year we decided we'd give the Activity Challenge a try again, still 50 minutes. And so what people can do is they can register to do it by themselves, their family, a pair, a team, co-workers, whatever. So it's very flexible that way. Get together, pick an activity you're going to do for 50 minutes and the day you're going to do it, and then collect pledges and go out and have fun and do your activity.
And I've seen a little bit online that Big Brothers Big Sisters was posting about with little and big sponsors for this fundraiser. Can you tell us a little bit about that and who's all involved with the little and big sponsors so far?
Yeah, so we have different levels of sponsorship. Stingray is our Be the Spark exclusive event sponsor. So we're really happy to have their support again. And then we have different levels depending on people's budgets for corporate sponsorship. So the little sponsor is $250, and then they get different incentives for that. The big sponsor is $500. And then we have an Ignite Potential sponsor, which is $1,000. So different price points for people to get involved. That stays in our local agency and helps support our mentoring programs, just like the pledges when people are doing the activities.
When exactly does this activity challenge start for BBBS, and when does registration kind of wrap up and close?
So it starts on May 6th and runs until May 17th. We will take sponsorships and individuals or teams wanting to do activities right up until the 17th, as long as you're able to raise the money. And there's no minimum amount. So as long as you're able to collect pledges and do your activity and you let us know that you're taking part, then yeah, anytime between Friday, May 6th and Tuesday, May 17th.
And with the date already coming up closer here, are you seeing some good, strong support? Were you kind of shocked to see how many sponsors there are so far?
Yeah, we've had some really good corporate sponsorship. Always room for more. We have some new ones on board this year, so it's exciting to see different businesses getting involved. And then also some new teams we had this year from years past. So people thinking of creative ways to get involved. One family registered their child. He's going to swing and play at the park. We have a team from last year, our highest team. They're going to jump on the trampoline and ride bike. One business is going to walk at lunch. So there's different ways that you can get involved. You can walk the dog by yourself and collect pledges, whatever you like. So pretty flexible.
Oh, that's really good to hear that you're already getting some strong support, and it's helping give people some things to do out here. You know, the weather's getting warmer, stuff to do outside, helps with exercise and whatnot.
Yeah, the nice thing is too, you know, it gives you the time frame, gives you that option that if it's an outdoor activity you're doing and the weather isn't good that day, then you could do it the next day, or possibly, depending what it is, move it inside if it's a workout or something. So there's a lot of flexibility built into it.
Perfect. And lastly, I just wanted to ask for people that want to find more information, is there anything else you want to add, or where they can go online to be able to find out some more stuff on this?
They can check out information on our Facebook page. We've got a ton of stuff on there. They can message our Facebook page and we can give them some information, or they could just call our office, 306-825-5757, and we can give them all the information that they might need.
Perfect. Well, it sounds really good that you're already getting some really good support for this, Jacqueline. So once again, thank you so much for joining us today. Hopefully this helps get the word out a little bit more.
Thanks so much.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Joining us today for Primetime Local News is Rick Block with Canadian Food Grains Bank. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. And we're speaking on Grow Hope Saskatchewan, providing emergency food assistance around the world. What exactly is this initiative?
Yeah, thanks, Shelby, for the opportunity to share a little bit more about Grow Hope. Grow Hope Saskatchewan is a really exciting initiative whereby you have various farm families around the province that are all contributing acres, collaborating with a number of the relief and development agencies that are part of the Canadian Food Grains Bank, and then the invitation for individuals and businesses, people that are part of, schools or church groups to join in on essentially raising dollars for the work of the Canadian Food Grains Bank, which is to help alleviate hunger internationally. And that is a growing and concerning situation. And maybe we'll speak more about it in just a bit.
Now, how long has Grow Hope Saskatchewan been doing this for?
Its first year was launched in 2018. At that time, we had 160 acres that were offered by two farmers, kind of both in the Rostron area. And since then, it has continued to grow each and every year. So this year in 2022, we have 300 acres available, and that's amongst 5 farm families. So it's up at Good Soil, down at Main Center, just north of Saskatoon at Laird, at Bruno, east of Saskatoon, and then also in Yorkton.
I know you brought it up a little bit already earlier on, but yes, let's expand on this. In what ways does this initiative help farmers and the egg industry?
Yeah, well, this is a project that really, I guess, connects kind of with in some ways, I'd say the culture of agriculture, in the spirit of saying, hey, let's work together to really help others that are in a much less fortunate situation than we find ourselves. And that's not to discount, there's lots of challenges that are going on here. But, and many farmers really identify too this sense of responsibility. They are growing, they are operating a business, they are growing food for many people around the world. Obviously, they need to kind of care for their own, livelihood and families, but this is a project that's really led by the generosity of farmers who wish to contribute a certain number of acres of production. And then there's numerous businesses, individuals. Essentially, the invitation is that businesses, individuals could essentially sponsor acres, which is really providing the dollars to help offset the input costs for the production of those acres. So that's at $350 this year. And then this all comes together. Obviously, all of the proceeds that come off of those 300 acres will be going into this project, which funnels its funds into the Canadian Food Grains Bank for its international work.
And with how long this has been going on for, like you were saying, in 2018 it first started, for people wanting to help support this, how can they sponsor it and find more information about this?
Yeah, probably the best portal is, so Grow Hope Saskatchewan has its own website, and that is just found at www.growhopesk.ca. And there you'll find profiles of the farmers that are involved, lots of resources connecting to really the international situation. Why would we feel a rationale or a burden to help look after others that are in other parts of the world suffering from displacement and hunger? And then also you'll find exactly the portals in terms of donating, and a person can donate. I mean, we regard the level of donation is essentially at we like to kind of package it in an acre perspective just because it's a farming project, but people can really donate at whatever level they want. So you could choose to donate equivalent of half an acre or 1 acre or many acres for that matter too.
And lastly, I just want to ask, personally to you, why do you find that it's so important to have this project in the egg industry and for farmers out there in the communities?
I like to use the idea of it being a story, and the main plot is helping to alleviate hunger internationally. But the subplot is actually very important here too, and it is about intentionally finding ways to connect urban and rural folks here in Saskatchewan. And those are two demographics that I think we probably all identify can benefit from, rubbing shoulders in friendly ways, frankly. And one of the key features that we have with Grow Hope is a kind of a signature field day. And in 2018 and 19, we had really great field days. Obviously, the last 2 years, they were more informal, smaller gatherings in the field just in relation to COVID. But we're really looking forward to having a great field day this year in early August, most likely in the Bruno area. And again, that is a really important time of connecting sponsors and the general public, and lots of folks from urban environment to farmers, and to learn more about farming in very friendly and non-confrontational ways. And people have always given really good feedback about those field days.
Perfect, Rick. Well, I'm glad we were able to speak on this, and knowing that there is this project out there for people in the communities that need it. So once again, thank you so much for joining us today.
Great. Thanks so much, Shelby.
Ending off with taking a quick look at your 7-day forecast. We will be seeing some nice temperatures coming up here, with tomorrow seeing 14, mix of sun and clouds, so get ready. We'll see a sunny day tomorrow, 22 on Wednesday. So we are seeing some summer temps even coming into the border city. So get ready for 22 Wednesday and 25 on Thursday. We will be seeing a high chance of some precipitation on Thursday, but don't worry, we will still be seeing some warm temperatures. Then we'll see 15 for the weekend and cooling down just slightly, but get ready. We will be seeing a beautiful week the rest of this week and into next week. And now we'll be taking a look at who won our Mother's Day contest, and congratulations. This one was submitted by Susan. So congratulations to Marilyn for this beautiful photo. This is her mother, Marilyn. So congratulations on receiving $500 to Sleep Country, and we will be in contact with you shortly.
Thank you for that, Shelby, and congratulations. And thank you for joining us on this hour of news, and we'll have even more in the second hour.